Captain Jun Kim stood on the bridge of the Korean Space Defense Force flagship Baekdu. His eyes never left the main screen. The alien ship hung in the blackness of space like a shining blue beetle. It was 3 times larger than any human ship. "Captain, what do you think they want?" asked Lieutenant Hannah Park. Her fingers moved quickly over her control panel. June took a deep breath. The alien ship had appeared at the edge of the solar system 3 days ago. It came without warning. No one on Earth had been ready for first contact. "I don't know, Lieutenant, but we're about to find out." The Baekdu was Earth's best ship, but next to the alien vessel, it looked small and weak. Humans had only been traveling between stars for 15 years. They were new to the galaxy. "Sir, they're sending another message," said Hannah. The large screen at the front of the bridge flickered. An alien face appeared. It looked like a giant insect with big compound eyes and moving mouthparts. 4 antennae twitched on top of its head. "Greetings, Captain Kim," said the alien. Its voice came through the translator with a slight buzz. "I am Ambassador Trill of the Vexari. We are pleased with our talks so far." June nodded politely. The first 2 days of contact had been simple exchanges of basic information. The Vexari claimed to be explorers from a group called the Galactic Federation. They said they wanted peace. "We are also pleased, Ambassador," said June. He tried to sound friendly, but something about the alien made him feel uneasy. "Your species shows remarkable adaptability," continued Ambassador Trill. Its mouth parts clicked together in what might have been a smile. "The Council eagerly awaits your delegation's arrival at our homeworld." June noticed how the alien paused before saying, "adaptability." Was that important? He couldn't tell. "Ambassador, we're honored by the invitation," June replied carefully. "Our diplomatic team will be ready within the week." The alien's antennae twitched faster. "Excellent. We will send coordinates for the journey until tomorrow, Captain." The screen went dark. June turned to his crew. 20 men and women worked at different stations around the circular bridge. They were the best Earth had to offer. But right now, they all looked worried. "What do you think, Captain?" asked Commander Lee, his second in command. "Can we trust them?" Before June could answer, the science officer approached. Sung Lee was a quiet man who rarely spoke unless he had something important to say. "Captain, may I speak with you?" Sung asked, holding a data tablet. "Of course." June led him to the side of the bridge where they could talk privately. "What is it?" "I've been studying the data packets they sent us," said Sung. His face was serious. "Most of it is basic cultural information, star maps, and language files. But I found something hidden in the code." "Hidden? Like they were trying to keep it secret?" Sung nodded. "It appears they have a classification system for planets. Earth is listed as a Class 12 death world." June frowned. "Death world? What does that mean?" "I'm not entirely sure," said Sung. "But I found references to containment protocols and threat assessments in their database." "That doesn't sound like something peaceful explorers would need," said June. He looked back at the empty screen where the alien's face had been moments before. "They're hiding something from us." "There's more," Sung continued. "I found partial data about the Vexari homeworld. Their atmosphere has much less oxygen than Earth. Their gravity is about 60% of ours. And their radiation shielding suggests their star gives off much less radiation than our sun. So their world is much gentler than Earth," Sung finished. "What's normal for us might be deadly for them." Lieutenant Hannah approached them with another tablet. "Sir, I've been analyzing their ship. Their hull is thinner than ours, and they're using much less radiation shielding than we would need." June's mind raced. They evolved in an easier environment. They're not built for the same conditions we are. "And they've classified our planet as a death world," added Sung. "Captain," Hannah said quietly, "what if they're afraid of us?" June looked at his crew. Humans had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. But first contact wasn't going as anyone had hoped. "Get me General Sue at Earth Command," June ordered. "And I want continuous monitoring of the Vexari ship. Track everything they do. As his crew rushed to follow orders, June walked to the large window at the side of the bridge. Earth was a blue-green jewel in the distance. His home. 7 billion people who had no idea what might be coming. "Captain," called Hana, "we're picking up a transmission from the Vexari ship, but they're not sending it to us." "What? Where are they sending it?" "Deep space, sir. Well beyond our solar system." Sung checked his instruments. "It's a tight beam quantum transmission. Very hard to detect. They don't know we can see it." "Can we tell what they're saying?" asked June. Hana shook her head. "It's heavily encrypted, but the transmission is massive. They're sending a lot of data." "They're reporting back to someone," said June, "and they don't want us to know." The bridge fell silent as everyone considered what this might mean. "Sir," said Commander Lee, "the diplomatic team is already preparing to leave Earth. Should we warn them?" June thought for a moment. "Not yet. We need more information before we cause a panic. Sung, I want you to keep working on their database. Find out everything you can about Deathworlds and what they plan to do about them." "Yes, sir," Sung replied. "And get me everything we have on the Vexari physiology," June continued. "If their world is so different from ours, maybe that gives us an advantage they don't know about." As his crew returned to work, June couldn't shake the feeling that humanity was in danger. The Vexari had appeared too suddenly, been too friendly too quickly, and now this hidden classification of Earth as a death world. His communication panel beeped. "Captain Kim," came a voice from Earth Command. "General Sue is waiting to speak with you." June took a deep breath. How could he explain to his superiors that Earth's first alien contact might see humans as dangerous creatures? That the Vexari might not be here for peace at all? "Put him through," said June, "and send all our findings to his secure channel." As he prepared to report to Earth's military leader, June glanced once more at the alien ship on the screen. Its blue hull gleamed in the sunlight. Beautiful, but dangerous, like a venomous insect. The Vexari had called humans adaptable. Perhaps it was time to show them just how adaptable humans could be. "General Sue," June said as the connection established, "we have a situation." In the darkness of space, the Vexari ship's lights pulsed as it continued its secret transmission to the stars. Somewhere out there, someone was listening, and Earth had just been marked as a target. Dr. Min Choi had not slept in 2 days. Her eyes burned as she stared at the screen in her small lab on Seoul Orbital Station. The space station circled Earth like a watchful eye. From here, scientists studied the stars and kept watch for threats. Min rubbed her tired eyes. On her screen was data from the Vexari ship. Captain June had sent it to her because she was the best code breaker on the station. If anyone could understand what the aliens were hiding, it was her. "Come on," she whispered to herself. "Show me your secrets." The alien data was complex. It used strange symbols and was protected by security she had never seen before. But Min was smart and patient. Bit by bit, she was breaking through. A line of alien text suddenly changed to readable words on her screen. "Yes," Min said, sitting up straight. More text began to appear. Her program was working, translating the alien language. The door to her lab slid open with a soft hiss. Colonel Day Park walked in, his uniform neat despite the late hour. Dark circles under his eyes showed he hadn't been sleeping either. "Please tell me you have good news," he said. Min turned to face him. Day was head of station security. "General, Sue had sent him to work with her after Captain June's warning. I've broken part of their code," Min said, "but I don't think you'll like what I found." She pointed to her screen. "The Vexari aren't part of any galactic federation, that was a lie. They're scouts for something called the Galactic Concordat." "What's that?" asked Day, leaning closer to read the screen. "A group of alien species from similar planets. They all evolved in gentle environments with low gravity, mild temperatures, and little radiation." Min pulled up a new screen showing a comparison chart. "Look at this. Earth has stronger gravity, more extreme temperatures, and much higher radiation levels than any of their worlds." Day frowned. So they come from easier planets. Why does that matter? Because they're afraid of us, Min said. Her voice was serious. The Concordat believes species from Deathworlds like Earth are dangerous. They think we're a threat because we evolved in harsh conditions. That's ridiculous, said Day. Min shook her head. Not to them. Think about it. Humans can survive. Conditions that would kill them instantly. We're stronger because we grew up in higher gravity. We can handle radiation that would make them sick. We heal faster. We have more endurance. She pulled up an image that showed a human figure next to a Vexari figure. Their bones are lighter. Their skin is thinner. Their muscles are weaker. From their perspective, we're monsters. Day was quiet for a moment. So the diplomatic invitation is a trap, Min finished. They want to isolate our representatives and study them. They're gathering information before attacking Earth. How can you be sure? Asked Day. Min typed quickly, bringing up more translated text. Because they've done it before. The Concordat has eliminated 18 other species from Deathworlds. They call it preventive containment. We call it genocide. Day's face went pale. How much time do we have? Min switched to another screen. It showed a star map with moving dots. This is from their navigation system. The main Concordat fleet is already on its way. 3 weeks, maybe less. We need to warn Earth and prepare our defenses, Day said, already moving toward the door. It won't be enough, Min called after him. Their technology is centuries beyond ours. There are over 30 species in the Concordat, all united against evolutionary aberrations like us. Day stopped at the doorway and turned back to her. His face was grim but determined. Then we'll need to show them why Deathworlders are so feared in the first place. After Day left, Min continued working. She dug deeper into the Vexari database. There had to be something they could use, some weakness in the Concordat's plans. Hours passed. Min found more information about the Concordat species. None of them could survive on Earth without special suits. Our air would poison them. Our water would burn their skin. Our gravity would crush their bones. That's it, Min whispered. They're afraid of us because they're fragile. She grabbed her communicator. Colonel Park, I need to see you right away. I have an idea. While waiting for Day to return, Min studied the data on the 18 other Deathworld species the Concordat had destroyed. Some had fought back. Some had tried to hide. All had failed, but humans were different. Humans were adaptable. When Dai arrived, Min was ready with her plan. The Concordat thinks we're dangerous because we evolved on a harsh world, she explained. But they don't understand what that really means. What do you mean? Asked Dee. They see our physical strength as a threat. But our real advantage is here. Min tapped her head. We solve problems. We adapt. We use our enemies' weaknesses against them. She showed him a new screen displaying chemical formulas. These are compounds that are harmless to humans but would be deadly to Concordat species. Their bodies can't process them. You want to use chemical weapons? Day looked concerned. Not weapons. Tools, Min corrected. We can create gases that would make them pass out but wouldn't hurt us at all. It would be like sleeping gas. To them, but just air to us. Day started to understand. And if we could get these compounds onto their ships, Min nodded. We could take control without firing a shot. But how do we get aboard their ships? They have better weapons, better shields. That's where you come in, Min said. We need small teams who can move quickly and survive in harsh conditions. People who aren't afraid to enter alien environments. You want soldiers, Day said. I want Deathworlders, Min replied. People who can show the Concordat why they were right to fear us, but wrong to attack us. Day thought for a moment. I'll talk to General Sue. We'll need Earth's approval for this plan. We don't have much time, Min reminded him. The Vexari ship is still in orbit. They're expecting our diplomatic team in 3 days, and the main fleet is getting closer every hour. I understand, said Day. He looked at Min with new respect. Keep working. Find everything you can about their ships, their weapons, their life support systems. find their weaknesses. After Day left again, Min turned back to her screen. She felt a strange mix of fear and determination. The aliens had classified Earth as a death world and humans as dangerous creatures. They thought this made humans a threat, to be eliminated. They didn't realize it made humans the perfect survivors. Min looked out her small window at Earth below. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land. Home to 7 billion humans who didn't know they had been marked for death by aliens who feared what they didn't understand. They think we're monsters because we're strong, Min said quietly to herself. We'll show them we're strong because we have something worth protecting. She began working on the chemical compounds that might save humanity. The aliens had made a serious mistake. They had given humans a reason to fight. And humans, from Earth, the Class 12 Death World had evolved to win against all odds. Admiral Jin Yu stood tall as he faced the room full of military leaders. They had gathered in the underground command center beneath the mountains of Pyeongchang. This bunker was built to survive even the worst attacks. Today, they needed it. On the large screen behind Jin, images showed the approaching Concordate fleet. Over 200 alien ships were moving toward Earth. They would arrive in less than 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, Jin began, his voice strong and clear. Humanity faces extinction. The Vexari and their allies have marked us as threats simply because we evolved on a planet that would kill them. They believe the only way to protect themselves is to destroy us first. The room was silent. These were Earth's top military minds. But no one had planned for this. How do you fight an enemy with technology far beyond your own? General Su Quan, head of the Global Defense Initiative, stood up. His face showed no fear, only determination. What is our tactical assessment? He asked. Lieutenant Hana Park stepped forward. She had been promoted after her work on the Baekdu with Captain Jun. Now she was the lead tactical officer for Earth's defense. The Concordate fleet is stronger than us in every normal way, Hana said, pointing to the screen. Their weapons can break our planet from orbit. Their shields can stop our missiles. Their ships are faster. The room grew tense. Some people shifted in their seats. However, Hana continued, highlighting several smaller ships at the edge of the alien fleet. Their physical weaknesses give us opportunities. They cannot survive in our environment without special protection, and thanks to Dr. Min Choi, we now understand their ships better than they think we do. Admiral Jin nodded to Hana and addressed the room again. We will not fight like they expect us to fight. Operation Deathworlder begins now. We attack in 3 phases. He touched a control, and the screen changed to show Earth's 20 interstellar ships. Phase 1. Our fleet will engage the Concordate directly. Captain Jun Kim will lead this attack. The screen changed again to show smaller, sleeker vessels. Phase 2. While our main fleet draws their attention, Colonel Day Park will lead special teams to infiltrate their support ships. These teams will use stealth shuttles to approach undetected. Jin looked around the room. And Phase 3, perhaps. Our most important strategy. Dr. Min Choi, please explain. Min stepped forward. She looked tired but confident. Using data from the Vexari ship, I've developed compounds that are harmless to humans, but dangerous to Concordate species. Their bodies cannot process certain chemicals that are common on Earth. Our infiltration teams will release these compounds into the life support systems of their ships. General Su frowned. You plan to poison them? No. Min shook her head. These compounds will not kill. They will only make them weak and confused. It would be like... She thought for a moment. Like breathing air with too little oxygen for us. We get dizzy, we get slow, but we don't die. Jin took over again. Once the compounds take effect, our teams will take control of their ships. We turn their fleet against itself. This is a bold plan, said General Su. But will it work? They have so many ships. We don't need to defeat them all, Jin explained. We only need to capture enough ships to prove we can. Then we force them to talk peace. Colonel Day Park stood up. My teams are ready, sir. We've been training in high gravity and heat chambers to build strength. We've studied the Vexari ship, layouts Dr. Min found in their database. Captain June Kim spoke next from a video link. He was already on the Baekdu preparing for battle. My fleet understands our role. We will draw their fire and make them think we're fighting a normal battle. Admiral Jin looked at each person in the room. We are not just fighting for our survival. We are fighting to change how the galaxy sees Deathworlders forever. After the meeting, Jin walked with Min, Day, and General Su to a smaller room where they could talk privately. Tell me honestly, said General Su. What are our real chances? Jin looked at Min. She was the scientist, the one who understood the aliens best. If we fight them directly, 0, Min said bluntly. Their technology is too advanced, but they have one weakness they don't even recognize. What's that? Asked General Su. They think like herd animals, Min explained. Their species evolved to avoid danger, not face it. They run from threats. They don't understand species like us, who evolved to overcome challenges. Day nodded. They expect us to either surrender or fight in a normal way. They won't expect us to board their ships. The idea of entering an environment that could kill you is foreign to them. That's why my teams will succeed, Day continued. We've chosen soldiers who grew up in extreme places on Earth, high mountains, deep-sea research stations, desert outposts, people who know how to survive where others can't. General Su turned to Jin. And if this fails? Jin's face was grim. Then humanity dies fighting, not cowering. But I believe we will succeed. We have to. Over the next week, preparations moved quickly. Earth's 20 ships took positions near Mars, ready to meet the Concordate fleet. They were led by the Baekdu with Captain June in command. Meanwhile, Colonel Day trained his infiltration teams. 100 soldiers learned to use the special suits Dr. Min had designed. These suits would protect them from the alien ship environments, which were too hot and had too little oxygen for humans to survive without help. In her lab, Min worked day and night to perfect her compounds. She tested them again and again to make sure they would affect the aliens but not harm humans. Will it work? Admiral Jin asked her during a late-night visit to her lab. Min looked up from her work. The science is sound. The compounds will work on their biology. That's not what I asked, Jin said gently. Min sighed. I don't know. We're betting everything on the fact that they don't understand Deathworlders, that they don't expect us to be able to function in their environments even with protection. It's a good bet, Jin said. They've never encountered humans before. They don't know what we can do. And if we fail? Min asked. Jin's face grew serious. Then we will be the 19th Deathworld species they destroy, but we will not be an easy victory for them. As the day of battle approached, a strange calm fell over Earth's defenders. They had done all they could to prepare. Now they waited for the enemy. In orbit around Earth, the Vexari ship still hung in space. They still expected a diplomatic team to arrive. They had no idea that Earth knew their true plans. Admiral Jin gave the final order. All ships prepare for Operation Deathworlder. We are not just fighting for Earth. We are fighting for all Deathworlders who came before us, and all who might come after. Show the Concordate why they were right to fear us but wrong to attack us. The battle for Earth's survival was about to begin. Space between Mars and Jupiter erupted in bright flashes of light. Earth's 20 ships moved toward the much larger Concordate fleet. Captain June Kim sat in the command chair of the Baekdu, watching as enemy ships grew larger on his screen. All non-ships hold formation, June ordered. His voice was calm despite the danger. Remember the plan. We need to look like we're fighting a normal battle. The Baekdu shook as enemy fire hit its shields. Red warning lights flashed on the bridge. Shields at 68%, reported the tactical officer. Return fire, June ordered. Target their lead ships. Make it look good. Earth's ships fired their weapons. Bright beams of energy shot toward the Concordate fleet. A few alien ships took damage, but most of the shots bounced off their strong shields. Sir, they're surrounding us, said Commander Lee. We'll be cut off soon. June nodded. That's exactly what we want. The Baekdu rocked again as more enemy fire hit it. The lights on the bridge flickered. Shields at 42%, called the tactical officer. We can't take much more of this. Stay on course, June said calmly. Broadcast the distress signal now. As planned, the Baekdu and 4 other vessels began sending out desperate messages. This is Captain June Kim of Earth Defense Force. We are taking heavy damage. Request immediate assistance. Earth Command, our shields are failing. We cannot. Hold them off. Please respond. We need reinforcements. The enemy is too strong. These were not real calls for help. They were part of the plan, a show to make the Concordat believe they had broken Earth's will to fight. Meanwhile, behind Jupiter's large moon, Colonel Day Park prepared his teams. 20 small black shuttles waited, each holding 5 soldiers, in special environmental suits. These suits would protect them from the hot, low-oxygen environment of the Concordat ships. All teams. Final check. Day ordered through his helmet comm. Remember, the Concordat doesn't expect us to board their ships. They think their environments will kill us. Use that surprise. The soldiers checked their equipment one last time. Each carried containers of Dr. Min's special compounds. These chemicals would make the Concordat aliens weak without harming humans. On Day's signal, the black shuttles moved silently from behind Jupiter's moon. They headed for the back of the Concordat fleet, where supply and support ships waited. These ships had fewer weapons and weaker shields. Team Alpha, target the vessel at coordinates 2 on 2784, Day ordered. Team Beta, take the one at 23091, move fast and stay quiet. The small shuttles approached their targets. The Concordat was focused on Earth's main fleet. They didn't notice the tiny black ship slipping past their sensors. Team Alpha reached their target first, a large supply ship. Using tools Dr. Min had designed based on Vexari technology, they cut through the outer hull. Warning alarms would be going off inside, but by the time the Concordat crew realized what was happening, it would be too late. "We're in," reported the Alpha team leader. "Moving to environmental controls." Day's own team, Team Delta, reached their target, a command and communications ship. They cut through the hull and entered a hot, dimly lit corridor. The air was thin, and even with their suits, the humans felt uncomfortable. "Remember your training," Day told his team. "This environment is uncomfortable for us, but deadly for them without protection. That's our advantage." They moved through the ship's corridors. Soon they encountered their first Concordat aliens, tall, thin beings with 4 arms and large eyes. The aliens wore no protective gear. Why would they? Their ship was made for their comfort. The aliens saw the humans and panicked. They reached for weapons, but they were slow compared to the humans. Even in the thin air and higher heat, humans from Earth were faster and stronger. "Non-lethal force," Day reminded his team as they quickly overcame the aliens. "We're here to take control, not destroy." Back in the main battle, the Baekdu was taking heavy damage. The bridge was filled with smoke and several control panels sparked with electricity. "Shields at 18%, shouted the tactical officer as another hit rocked the ship. "Keep broadcasting the distress signals," June ordered. "Make them think. We're desperate." On his private channel, June received a message from Admiral Jin. "Infiltration teams have boarded target vessels. Phase 2 is proceeding. Hold position for 7 more minutes." June looked at the damage reports coming in from his ship. They might not have 7 minutes. "Reroute power from non-essential systems to shields," he ordered. "We need to hold a little longer." Inside the Concordat vessels, Day's teams moved toward their main targets. Team Alpha reached the environmental control center of their ship. They quickly overcame the surprised alien crew. "Environmental controls secured," reported Alpha leader. "Releasing the compounds now." They connected Dr. Min's containers to the ship's air system. The special chemicals began flowing through the ventilation. Within minutes, the effects were visible. Concordat aliens throughout the ship began moving slowly. Some sat down, confused. Others leaned against walls, unable to stand properly. "Team Alpha reports success," came the message today. "Concordat crew is incapacitated, taking control of the ship now." Day's team reached the command center of their target ship. The aliens inside tried to fight, but they were no match for humans from a high-gravity world. Even in their uncomfortable suits, the humans moved faster and hit harder. Command center secured, Day reported. Releasing compounds now. One by one, the infiltration teams reported success. 17 Concordat vessels were now under human control. It wasn't many compared to the full fleet, but it was enough to prove their point. In orbit around Earth, Dr. Min monitored the progress from Sol Station. She watched as Day's teams took control of ship after ship. "It's working," she whispered to herself. "They never expected us to turn their environments against them." On the Concordat flagship, Ambassador Trill received the shocking reports with growing horror. The large, insect-like alien could not believe what was happening. Impossible. Trill chittered to the Supreme Commander. "How are the humans aboard our vessels? Our environmental conditions should be lethal to them." The Supreme Commander's antennae twitched rapidly in distress. "They've adapted. The Deathworlders have adapted to our environments. But the gases they're using," Trill continued. "Our crews are unable to function." "They're using their knowledge of our biology against us," the commander said, voice strained. "Something only a Deathworld species would think to do." A communication officer approached. "Supreme Commander, we're receiving a transmission from one of our captured vessels. The humans wish to speak." On the main screen, Colonel Day Park's face appeared. He had removed his helmet now that the ship's atmosphere had been adjusted. "This is Colonel Park of Earth," Day said. "We now control 17 of your vessels. We have not killed your crews. We have not destroyed your ships. But we can, if we choose to." The Supreme Commander's large eyes blinked rapidly. "What do you want, Deathworlder?" "We want to talk," Day replied simply. "We want you to understand something. You were right to fear us. We are stronger than you. We can survive conditions you cannot. We can adapt to your environments when you cannot adapt to ours." Day's face grew serious. "But you were wrong to attack us. We don't want to destroy you. We don't want to conquer you. We just want to live in peace." The battle for Earth had turned. For the first time, the Concordat faced a Deathworld species that had found a way to fight back. 3 days after the battle, Admiral Jin Yu stood before the United Earth Council in the Great Hall in Geneva. The room was filled with leaders from every nation. Large screens on the walls showed the faces of millions watching from around the world. "The Concordat fleet has pulled back beyond Neptune's orbit," Jin announced. His uniform was crisp, his voice clear and strong. "Their remaining vessels are keeping their distance, but they have opened diplomatic channels." President Jun Rhee, the head of the United Earth Council, leaned forward in her seat. Her eyes showed both relief and suspicion. "They are willing to talk peace? After they tried to destroy us?" she asked. "Yes, Madam President," Jin confirmed. "Colonel Day's team still controls 17 of their vessels. Dr. Min's compounds proved extremely effective. The Concordat never expected Deathworlders to be able to function in their environments, let alone fight effectively there." Dr. Min stepped forward to join the Admiral. She looked tired but proud. "More importantly, we sent proof of the Concordat's plans to every spacefaring civilization we could reach. We showed them how the Concordat has destroyed 18 other Deathworld species before us. The political damage has been severe," Jin added. "Several member species of the Concordat have already condemned the attack on Earth. Their alliance is breaking apart." Captain Jun Kim, his arm in a sling from injuries during the battle, joined them at the podium. "They have also given us access to their star charts and records. Earth is not the only remaining death world in the galaxy. There are at least 14 other planets with species like us." President Rhee's expression hardened. "So we are contacting these other Deathworlders." "We already have," Admiral Jin confirmed with a small smile. 3 have responded so far. They have been hiding, developing their technology in secret, afraid of the Concordat finding them. "With our help," June added, "they can come out of hiding. Together, we can ensure no more Deathworld species face extinction." "And what of the Concordat?" asked the President. "Can we trust them to honor any peace agreement?" Jin's face grew serious. "They fear us more than ever now, but they also respect us in a way they didn't before. They have agreed to recognize A new political entity, the Deathworld Alliance. The hall filled with murmurs as people discussed this news. Captain June will lead our first official diplomatic mission, Jin continued. But this time it will be a real diplomatic mission, not a trap. June stepped forward. The Concordat feared us because we evolved in harsh conditions, he said. They never understood that those same conditions taught humanity our greatest strength, not just our physical adaptability, but our capacity to turn problems into solutions. After the meeting, Dr. Min approached Admiral Jin privately. They stood by a window overlooking Lake Geneva, the blue water shining in the sunlight. The Concordat database contains star charts for the entire galaxy, Min said quietly. There are thousands of death worlds out there, most with pre-spacefaring civilizations. Potential allies, Jin nodded. Or potential targets, Min countered. We need to find them before the Concordat decides to try again. Jin looked out at the peaceful scene below. People walked along the lake enjoying a beautiful day, most unaware of how close humanity had come to extinction. Then we have work to do, he said. Humanity isn't just going to survive in this galaxy. We're going to change it, for all Deathworlders. 2 weeks later, Captain June stood on the bridge of the Bac Du once more. The ship had been repaired, its scars from battle erased. Beside him stood Colonel Day and Dr. Min, both now appointed as Earth's ambassadors to the galaxy. On the main screen, a strange alien face appeared. It had 4 eyes and a wide mouth. This was not a Concordat species. This was a Deathworlder from a planet called Nevaria. Greetings, representatives of Earth, the alien said through the translator. We are honored to meet fellow survivors of a harsh world. The honor is ours, June replied. We have much to learn from each other. For too long we hid from the Concordat, the Nevarian said. We feared their technology, their numbers. But you have shown us that Deathworlders need not hide. Min stepped forward. We have all evolved in environments that made us strong, adaptable. The Concordat saw these traits as threats. We see them as gifts that should be used to build, not destroy. The Nevarian's 4 eyes blinked in what June guessed was agreement. Our scientists have studied your victory. Using their own environments against them was brilliant. It was necessary, Day said simply. We did what Deathworlders do. We adapted to survive. Later, in their private meeting room, June, Day, and Min discussed their plans. The Deathworld Alliance already has 5 member species, June said. With more joining every week. And what of the Concordat? Asked Day. Can we trust them to keep the peace? Min brought up a display showing the locations of Concordat worlds. They're still watching us, still afraid. But they've learned that attacking Deathworlders directly doesn't work. So we remain vigilant, June said. While we build something new. Min nodded. The first joint research facility is already under construction near Jupiter. Nevarian and Earth scientists working together to develop technologies that work for all our species. And the other Deathworld species we haven't contacted yet? Day asked. The pre-spacefaring ones? We watch over them, June said firmly. We make sure the Concordat doesn't target them next. We give them time to develop on their own. The 3 humans looked at the star map showing thousands of worlds throughout the galaxy. So many planets, so many species, so many possibilities. A month ago we didn't even know aliens existed, Min said softly. Now we're building an alliance that could change the galaxy. All because they thought being from a death world made us monsters, Day added. June smiled slightly. They weren't entirely wrong. We can be dangerous when threatened. But they never understood what really makes humans, what makes all Deathworlders special. What's that? Asked Min. We don't just survive hardship, June said. We learn from it. We grow stronger. We use it to build better futures. That's what the Concordat never understood about us. That's what we'll teach the galaxy. On the main screen, a message appeared from Earth Command. New coordinates for their journey. New Deathworld species to contact. Ready for our next adventure? June asked his companions. Min and Day nodded. The Bektu turned gracefully and accelerated toward the stars. The ship that had once fought desperately for Earth's survival now carried its hopes for a new future. Far behind them, Earth continued its journey around the sun. The blue planet spun peacefully. Its harsh conditions, its high gravity, its radiation, its extreme temperatures, no longer a reason for fear, but a source of pride. The emergency alert that had once marked humans as targets now served as humanity's call to action, a promise to protect other species like them across the stars. Deathworlders were no longer hiding. Deathworlders were ascending.